A software engineer's calendar is not just full of coding tasks. It is full of way more different things like sprint planning, one-on-one meets, design reviews, and so on. If I ask you an honest question, how much of last week did you actually spend in writing the code? I'm sure for most of you, the answer would be less than a half. The rest is meetings, design calls, code reviews, and so on and on. So in this video, I will be introducing 5 tools for a software developer, and only one of them is for pure coding tasks. These tools will enable you to code in your team style, which is very important, and make the architecture call before you build a system, assist you in meetings, debug production incidents, and the final one that automates mundane steps for you. That too from the comfort of your phone. Hi, my name is Vivek. I am co-founder at Programming Pathshala, which is an edtech, has been in existence since last decade. I previously worked as a software engineer at Amazon, and I did my BTech in computer science from IIT BHU in 2016. The first tool I'll be talking about is the obvious one, that's Claude Code. And all of us know that it can be used to write code, but I'm not going to teach you how to prompt it and autocomplete your code. Imagine that you are working in an e-commerce company and you have been given a very obvious task. So the task handed to you is to basically go ahead and introduce a route for fetching orders. So right now you can already see a file products.py, and this is a very simple file which simply lists out the products. Similarly, we have to add another route that simply lists out the orders for a particular user. You don't want to code, you want to use Claude Code. So what would you do for that? You would simply go to your terminal and you would prompt it something like this. You would say add an endpoint to fetch the order details for a particular user. You hit enter and it goes to work. By the time it is done, it would have created the necessary files and got the job done for you. So now just look at the file that it created. So this is the orders route. Get user orders. You can go through this. It creates a connection, queries the database. Everything looks good. So now that I am happy with it, I can go ahead and raise a PR. However, when my teammate reviews the PR, there are so many comments out here. So you can say that the comment looks like saying something, there are 5 things that we need to fix, and each one is in conventions. So let's look what they are. So Priya is saying that a collection read should be list orders for user, and also please add the type hint user ID :int. So basically there is a comment that is asking me to rename something. So you could see that Claude Code generated a code that works perfectly well, but it just does not follow the coding conventions that are obeyed in my organization. Now there is a quick fix to it. So this is a very important file that I want to show you, skill.md. It is called as skill file. Now here if you see, the coding conventions followed in my team have explicitly been mentioned. Like you have naming methods which say that never use get, so you should never be creating a function with a name get_user_orders. Rather it should be list orders for user. Now once I have this skill file in place, and now if I go ahead and prompt my Claude Code, the newly generated code will take care of all the coding conventions. So I'll just go back and I'll ask my Claude to just do it again. I'll delete the previous artifacts, the previous files that it created. It will get to its work, and after some time, when it is done, its file. So this is my new orders route, and you can see it clearly that it has taken care of all the code comments that I had. So skill file is something that you can write once and use every time. Skill was just a very small concept associated with using Claude Code, but there are many more like hooks, sub-agents, agents team, and so on, which I will be talking about in detail at some other point of time. The next AI tool which I use almost on everyday basis is Granola. It's basically an AI notes taker. Whenever you join a meeting, Granola can take the transcript of the meeting that you have had. And this is not one of those clunky tools which you might have used before, where a bot ends up joining your meeting and that also is an attendee over there. This is not the case. You can even templatize it and convert it into a nice looking summary of the meeting. So you can see it right here. The meeting that I just had is now being templatized according to my chosen design template. And this is something which I can now share with everyone. So you can just click on this link, share with everyone, and I can even chat with this meeting notes. So I can say that what are action items, and it reverts back with the important details. So this is pretty useful in that sense. You can also click share from here and share with your team or relevant set of people. I especially like the template part where you can go and create your own template where you can give the meeting context and you can also specify the sections that you want along with their specifications. The third one, which I personally like a lot, is deep research. So let's say you are working on some architectural decision to be taken for your project and you have multiple choices, like you want to choose the right vector database for your production RAG application. You can just give that prompt, choose the deep research option in ChatGPT window, and it will get to work. The most useful part over here is that it doesn't assume things. It goes ahead and asks certain clarifying questions from you beforehand so that the deep research report which it comes up with is highly curtailed to your particular use case. Once you have given your answers, it gets back to its work. It can take 15 to 20 minutes. You can go sip a cup of coffee, and by the time you'd be back, it would have rendered a nice looking deep research script. This is how the deep research document for me looks like. You can see that it is a well-researched document and it contains the clear-cut comparison between all the different options, all the different sorts of vector databases that I could have used for my production use case. And one thing which I particularly adore about deep research is that it doesn't give you answers just like that. It just doesn't make random claims. It backs its claims by the virtue of citations and links. So you can click on this link and it will take you to the relevant document or relevant website which is actually referring to something like this. I find this feature to be particularly useful when you are architecting something, when you have multiple options, tools and technologies to choose from. Production outages are no uncommon thing in the life of a software developer. And whenever that happens, most of the time goes around in looking at the logs, checking the metrics and doing all sorts of things. Very less amount of time actually goes ahead in writing the code. Now imagine if you had an assistant which helps you with this sort of triage, which looks at the logs, proposes the fix, even raises the PR for you to approve. It would be great, isn't it? So let's have a look at SentrySeer. So imagine you have a code base which is deployed somewhere on the cloud. For now it is deployed on my local machine and it encounters some sort of an error. Once that error has been encountered, you get the proper logs. If there would be an assistant which can look at that, read the code and propose the fix, that would be great. Let us say an API call is made. I'll be using curl command and I got an internal server error. Once this error has been gotten, can my SentrySeer automatically debug this? Let us have a look at that. So this is my Sentry dashboard and I can immediately see a type error which just came, and you can see it shows me the exception, all the important details which I need to know about it. Now if I want, I can start analysis. You can see the details it has brought up. It says that the order summary function, it encounters this type error and it encounters that because of a null pointer exception, because there is a value which is equal to none. It would also ask your permission to make a plan, and this is the plan that it comes up with. And once you're happy with it, you can ask it to write a code fix. It's amazing, isn't it? It has generated the code fix and now I can say yes, draft a PR. Looks like it has created the PR and here it is. The last and the final tool I want to talk about is Hermes. You might have heard about OpenClaw, Hermes, these kind of tools. So they help you to automate the tasks that you would not want to do on your own, and that too from the comfort of your phone. Okay, so you can see this is my Hermes bot which is connected to me on my Telegram. And on my Telegram, I can ask it to do certain things for me. For example, I can ask it that every morning, look at the open PRs and issues in my repo, summarize what needs my attention, and message me here. So let's see what it does. It has started typing already, as you can see here. And now it is opening up some skill files that it already has. And now it created a cron job. And it says done. It should be able to look at the issues that are open on my repo and message them to me. So let me ask it to run it once. Can you run it once? So you can see first it is listing the cron jobs that it has, and then it picked the right cron job that I asked for, and then it ran it. And this is the final issue that I have. So these are the different issues that I have in my repository right now. It's a pretty useful automation that you can configure for yourself by using tools like Hermes and OpenClaw. So these were 5 different tools which I really wanted to share with everyone, and I think every software developer can sit with them, configure them in their own specific way, and derive a lot of productivity out of them. If you liked this video and found it useful, please hit the subscribe button.